have a very tiny state of 50 people. 30 of them belong to the blue party and 20 belong to the red party. And just our luck, they all live in a nice even grid with blues on one side of the state and reds on the other. Now, let's say we need to divide the state into 5 districts. Each district will send one representative to the House to represent the people. Fortunately, because our citizens live in a neatly ordered grid, it's easy to draw 5 lengthy districts, 2 for the reds and 3 for the blues. Voila! Perfectly proportional representation, just as the founders intended. Now, let's say instead that the blue party controls the state government, and they get to decide how the lines are drawn. Rather than draw districts horizontally, they draw them vertically, so that in each district there are 6 blues and 4 reds. With a comfortable blue majority in the state, each district elects a blue candidate to the House. The blues win 5 seats, and the reds don't get a single one. Oh well, finally, what if the red party controls the state government? The reds know they're at a numerical disadvantage.
Right.
But with some creative boundary drawing, they can slice the blue population up such that they only get a majority in 2 districts. So despite making up 40% of the population, the reds win 60% of the seats. Not bad. This process of redrawing district lines to give an advantage to one party over another is called gerrymandering, and it's nothing new. The term gerrymander is named after early 19th century Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry, who redrew the map of the Senate's districts in 1810 in order to weaken the opposing Federalist Party. Our example is, of course, a huge simplification. In the real world, people don't live in neatly ordered grids sorted by political party. But for politicians looking to give themselves an advantage at redistricting time, the process is exactly the same, and the consequences are very real. Gerrymandering is at least partly to blame for lopsided representation in the House seen in recent elections. And, it's been argued by the president, for political polarization, since representatives don't have to compromise hardline views in order to win seats.
Exactly, and that is why America is so polarized, okay? There is no compromise needed for, the powered party, the party in power, who gets to draw the maps. So when you see this gerrymandering stuff going on, it's in Alabama, it's in North Carolina. Republican states, for the most part, do the most severe and ugly gerrymanders because they are outnumbered. And they don't have to compromise anything to the blue people in their state because they just dilute them. They just take city dwellers and merge them with more rural districts. As you can see, the shape of these gerrymanders makes absolutely no sense to anybody for any reason except rigging and stealing the vote. But this is the reason for the polarization. You know, when Kirsten Sinema stood up and said, I can't get rid of the filibuster because it cures a symptom of the disease, but not the disease itself. Well, the polarization in this country is, that we could do 5 hours on the polarization and the causes for it. But one of the main reasons is that Republican legislatures draw maps to guarantee Republican representation goes to the feds, right? Republican representation comes into the state house. Again, Republican, House members make up, a majority, even though they are a minority in this country. And therefore, there's no reason to compromise. There's no reason to meet in the middle. There's no reason to say, oh, you need childcare. Well, okay, we'll have to carve out some of the money that we intended to give to our wealthy donors who put us here and helped us draw these gerrymandered maps as payback. But, we'll give them what's left over after we help you afford insulin and childcare. There is none of that because there's no need for them to do that because they are literally guaranteeing themselves re-election with these fake, phonied up, gerrymandered maps. And if you're running statewide where the gerrymandered map won't help you, well, then go out there and dupe a whole bunch of people into changing their registration so they don't even get to vote in their primaries to pick the strongest candidate to run against you. And then say, we need election police. We do, because something nefarious is going on. And oh, by the way, when you do that, outsource it to another state so your fingerprints aren't on it. Which is why this Florida GOP operation is happening out of Utah. I mean, they just cheat. They just cheat and steal and then lie about cheating and stealing. It's such a scam. And we have no shot at self-governance if that's the kind of treatment we are going to either ignore, pretend we don't know. You can't pretend now because now you do. I even played you a video on how actually gerrymanders happen. The Supreme Court's going along with it. And you know what's crazy is the Supreme Court had said, I guess in 2019, that there was no role for the court to play. No role. That gerrymandering was a completely congressional operation. And that the Supreme Court should never comment on gerrymanders.
This is the case involving partisan gerrymandering. This was a 5-4 decision written by the Chief Justice, Joan Roberts. And it says that the courts have to stay out of these questions of whether maps are extremely partisan gerrymandering. Basically, the court saying here that the courts have no role to play.
Okay, that was 2019. Did they forget that they said that? I don't know if they forgot. Maybe we should remind them that they said that. Charles in Florida.
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
Can you turn whatever you're listening to me on down?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
I was listening to you.
I know. Just turn it down because we're on delay.
Yes. Why are we going to have save one border and have our borders unprotected?
What are you talking about now? Russia?
Yeah, your show. We were on.
Are you afraid of the Mexican army invading us or something?
Well, actually, I'm afraid of the criminals that are coming across.
Well, what about the criminals that aren't coming across that are here already? Do you worry about them at all?
I mean, that in itself, I mean...
So we're not going anywhere. What does it cost you if we talk? How does it pick your pocket in some way if we actually go and have a coalition of heads of state from our allied friends, our friendly nation?
It's costing our tax-paying money.
Talk to Russia. What does it cost you to talk to Russia? Nothing.
No, it don't cost us nothing.
So why are you wigged out? Why are you wigged out that we're actually trying to have a peaceful resolution instead of watching one country invade another?
It does cost us something.
It doesn't cost us anything. We already pay for a State Department. Might as well use them.
So it's not costing us our military?
No, it's not costing anything. The military is the military, and they're going to be stationed somewhere. So why not take 8,500 and move them a little bit, like in a game of Stratego, and then go sit down and talk to a guy who wants to invade his neighbor and talk him out of it? Why is that bothering you that we do that?
Why should we piss off the Russian that's giving us the oil that we can't even open ourselves?
What are you talking about? We're oil independent. We are energy independent this here country.
We are not oil.
We are, but when it comes to gasoline is just a blend of everything. There's no way to say where gasoline comes from that you put in your car because it's a blend of everything. So what is wrong with you? Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.